Now, a member of the United States House of Representatives, Riley Moore, met with a delegation of 10 senior members of the Nigerian government on Wednesday in Washington. This comes as Nigeria continues to ramp up efforts to counter the narrative of an ongoing genocide against Nigerian Christians with the tacit approval and protection of the government. Congressman Moore has been one of the U.S. politicians insistent on claims of Christian persecution in Nigeria. On November 7, 2025, Moore introduced a resolution in Congress condemning what he called the ongoing persecution of Christians in Nigeria and supporting President Donald Trump's announcement to officially designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the composition of that Nigerian delegation and the need for top-level engagement with the U.S. over the alleged killings in Nigeria. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Many thanks for being here.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, of course, I went through This Day, This Day newspaper, and I saw some of the members of that delegation, those that represented Nigeria in that meeting. What do you make of it for such a sensitive matter?
Well, they are already there. And I wouldn't want to undermine what they are about to do there. But, you see, I think the damage is done already. Look at the delegation that was led by the National Security Advisor. That is the man responsible for the insecurity in Nigeria. But his National Security Advisor to the President of Nigeria is not National Security Advisor at large. You have in that delegation full cabinet ministers, like the Attorney General, and you have the Inspector General of Police, and the Chief of Defense Staff. That is all our security apparatus at the highest level, except the Commander-in-Chief. You don't do diplomacy that way. You don't put all your eggs in one basket. And who have they gone to meet? An agitator who is very powerful and who has his facts. When we discussed this issue the other time, I was cautioning that they should make sure that the bill going to Congress to make Nigeria a country of particular concern does not go through. And that bill was being moved then by Senator Ted Cruz. He was the one who said he knows those who are financing terrorism in Nigeria. He knows where they are and how much they are spending. That is the sort of lobbying I was asking for. Not this sort of pacification of somebody who cannot be pacified because they have better information than us anyway. So I think we got our priorities wrong. And I will still say, in diplomacy, you make allowance for your options, for fallback position. But if we now throw head-on our National Security Advisor and Attorney General, even if the case goes to court, once the Attorney General is involved now, he cannot be a judge in his own case. Even no Ribadu cannot be a judge in his own case. He's the one in charge of the allegations levied against Nigeria. He should not be the first to go and meet an informal setup to explain our case. And look at see, we are really John insensitive the way we are reacting to this. Nobody Ribadu is a Muslim. The Attorney General is a Muslim. And we have Yaka Ujuku there, who is Deputy Foreign Minister. She could have led that, or in her absence, the Foreign Minister himself could have led that delegation and still achieve the same purpose. But see, we are acting before the international community like desperate people. Even the secretary to the government said Nigeria is going to become like Sudan. Face Nigeria's problem and leave Sudan alone. As for Sudan, Sudan SM party, the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince who went there, pleaded with Trump to intervene in Sudan on humanitarian grounds and militarily and stop the genocide. Yes, that is Sudan. Our own, we know our problems. Let us face our problems and not look desperate that we are incapable of solving our problem. Let's leave it at that for now.
And I mean, your choice of word desperate really stands out to me. I mean, what do you make of President Tinubu's administration when it comes to diplomacy. I mean, a few weeks ago, we were expecting to see this list of ambassadors to engage with the global community. I think that would have been key in these kinds of negotiations. That list still hasn't put out, and I know the special advisor, Dayo put out a statement saying that the list would be published soon, but urgency is necessary in times like this. What do you make of how we're treating our diplomatic relationships?
Look, we have discussed this several times. I have friends who are ambassadors who have spoken to me. But it is apparent the president has little respect for diplomacy. He has little respect for diplomacy, or else he would have done that. And some of his adversaries have said that if we had ambassadors in place, in the United States, in the UK and all that, they could have put heads together and nip this in the bud. But then the horses have gone out of this table door. Let him appoint the ambassadors when he likes, but the consequences of not appointing ambassadors are clear and manifest. And they are not in our own interest in this era of Trump and this accusation of genocide and our categorization as a country of concern in the terrorist book of the US. Yes.
All right, Mr. Sobowale, you've done justice to this so far in terms of saying that it's apparent that the president doesn't have respect for diplomacy, and also suggesting how things should have gone regarding the delegation, probably being led by Bianca Ojukwu, to show that there's some sensitivity.
The minister.
Yes.
For Foreign Affairs.
And what this reminds me of is that we've seen time without number a case of reaction from this administration, not necessarily getting ahead of situation, but constantly reacting. The last guest just talked about us needing to have intentionality and strategic leadership. We have not necessarily seen that in this case. Based on all the realities that you've painted and the conversation we had earlier, and this delegation that is currently there, is there a way to still salvage this situation as is right now regarding relations with the United States, helping with the insecurity matter?
Yes, there will always be a way. The diplomacy is continuous dialogue. There will always be a way. It's continuous dialogue. But what is important is that we act and be seen to be acting decisively to kill the terror threat. Now, that is what's important. Look, a friend of mine, Eric Chanyola, sent me a tape of when Nigeria was swearing in our first Governor General, Nnamdi Azikiwe, on November 16. You see, the timing is suspicious. But then, if you watch that tape and you heard what Nnamdi Azikiwe said so eloquently, was that all the leaders in Nigeria, the three leaders there, himself, Sardauna, Awolowo, should come together to protect Nigerians and guarantee human rights and make sure that nobody suffers as a result of whatever orientation you have in Nigeria. That was as far back as 1963. But that's the problem we are in now. Then Zik was talking against the colonialists, but we are talking against terror gangs and terror groups we cannot even identify. Mm-hmm. You get me? So it is not the best of times for us. And the government should reappraise reanalyze its real defense paraphernalia and strategy. Get me? And do something. Nuhu Ribadu himself has stayed long enough that I don't see he can wear new spectacles to see what is on the ground. We have had some military commanders removed. You get me? And anyway, he was a policeman before he got there. There are people in the army, in the navy, who are how do I put it? Experts in strategic military deployment and management.
Yes.
They are nowhere near there. So he cannot be a judge in his own case. The security apparatus is not performing, and he has it. He cannot be the person sent to mitigate the anger of people against us. We will have no credibility.
Yes.
Let us face that fact.
Mr. Dayo Sobowale, thank you very much for joining us on this incredibly important topic. Thank you for your time.